Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Codename Sailor Earth's Bedtime Stories. Today I have a really special treat. This is the official Sailor Moon Play-a-Sound book. Now, before we get started, a little bit of some trivia for you. There's actually two versions of this book. There's this, which is the proper, correct, and awesome version. And then there's a second version of this book that doesn't have the sound bar. Well, what's the fun in that? So if you saw the beginning of this video, then you watched me replace the batteries, and I really only have to replace the batteries once every couple of years. So this thing does a really great job of holding on to battery power. Now, like in episodes 1 and 2, we are using Deke names. So just as a reference, I'll flip this over. You may hear me use the name Serena for Usagi, Amy for Ami, Rei for Rei, just different spelling, kind of the same thing, Lita for Makoto, and Mina for Minako. Now, you might be noticing a little bit of something. Minako kind of looks a little sad, doesn't she, on the back cover? Well, I think there's a reason for that. They forgot to give her her own button! What? Yeah, we've got buttons for Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, and Tuxedo Mask. We have a button for the tiara. We've got a button for the Moon Frisbee attack. More on that later. We have a button for the wand, a button for Queen Beryl, and even a button for the evil art tools that we're going to be using in this story, but no Sailor Venus. My best theory, and I could easily be wrong on this, so do not take this as fact, but my best theory is that they probably didn't think to give a button to Sailor Venus, you bastards, because by the time this book came out, Venus was kind of sort of the new girl character. Take that for what you will, that might not even be the reason, but just throwing that out there. Another thing you're going to notice is that we kind of have some spoiler art. So some of you have noticed that this really cool little pose here with Sailor Moon is also a pose that she has in the opening to Sailor Moon S, which we wouldn't see in the States until a couple of years after this book came out. So that's pretty cool that they were like sketching this book based off of something that we weren't going to get over here just yet. And you probably noticed that they forgot to paint in her red gloves. And then on the back cover, we have another spoiler too. This pose is traced from the Sailor Moon R movie, which, again, we wouldn't get until a couple years after this book came out. So there's some fun little spoilers and some fun little quirks in this book. And this is why even as an adult, I read this book over and over and over again just to have some fun. Now, one more thing of note before we go forward is there's a bit of a gender swap. So if you guys are watching Sailor Moon on Hulu, then you know that Zoisite is a man. Well, in the Deke dub back in the 90s, they didn't know how to handle homosexual characters. It was really embarrassing. So they made Zoisite a girl and kind of sort of respelled his name a little bit, and you're going to see that in this book. So just letting you know right now, Zoisite's going to be the wrong gender, but, that's because this is a product of its timeline. So, now that I've gotten all that stuff out of the way, let's get started with the reading. Sailor Scout Power joins Sailor Moon and her band of Sailor Scouts as they go head-to-head with Queen Beryl and her troops from the Negaverse. If you remember from episode 1, the Negaverse is what Deke called the Dark Kingdom. Will Queen Beryl's plan usher in a reign of evil? Will this be the end of the Sailor Scouts? Press the 10 picture keys to hear the sounds of this exciting adventure. Replaceable long-life batteries included, which you watched me replace at the beginning of the story. So let's go on. Play-a-Sound Sailor Moon. Illustrated by Rod Vass. Text by Maya Verituni, based on the original story by Naoko Takeuchi. even though we never actually have this upcoming episode in any of the episodes or in the manga. Sounds designed by Kristen Nordine, Publications International. And of course over here it's got like legal copyright stuff and how to replace the LR44 batteries, which you already saw me do. There used to be a thing too where you could actually send away for batteries for $20, which is so funny because I get my batteries from the Dollar Tree. It seems like every kid in town is at Artworks, the mall's exciting new art supply shop. I miss mall trotting, don't you? Okay, we see the picture, so we're going to play the sound. This store is awesome, exclaimed Serena, with all these colorful brushes, paints, clays, and other supplies. We could be famous artists someday. We don't have to be famous to pass art class, Lita reminds Serena. New classes start tomorrow and we'll be ready. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of these, says the store manager. Then she chuckles under her breath. Or else they'll get a lot out of you. By the way, did you guys notice earlier that they painted Sailor V's eyes purple for some reason? And wow, Amy's got purple eyes too, and wow, that is some bright, like almost teal hair. Oh, that is some grade A art skills right there. The next day in art class, Serena daydreams about being famous. A classmate's shriek interrupts her thoughts. Many students dash away from their desks. Their drawings turn mean and hideous. They start to peel off the page and try to attack the students who created them. We've got to do something, says Serena. Her friends follow her to the hall. Okay, first of all, is this writing Power Rangers enough for you or what? And second, I gotta throw this out there. Until Sailor Stars, Mina actually goes to a different school from everybody else. And, like, these three go to the same school. Minako goes to a different school, and Rei goes to a different school. So, just want to throw that one out there. And that's why I threw that out there. It's time for a change, girls, Serena calls. She shouts out the words that will begin her transformation into the powerful Sailor Moon. Moon, Prism, Power! Mercury, Power! Amy follows Sailor Moon's lead, turning into the brilliant Sailor Mercury. Hey, they actually use a different picture here than what's on the key. I didn't catch that before. Mars, Power! Calls out Rei, becoming the fiery Sailor Mars. Jupiter, Power! Lita chimes in with the other scouts and transforms into the strong Sailor Jupiter. With all the powerful Sailor Scouts together, they're ready to take on anything. Okay, says Sailor Moon. Let's get those creepy creatures. Oh yeah, and Venus shows up. Poor Minako. That is a cool picture, though. As the nasty artwork tries to zap the girls' frightened classmates, the Sailor Scouts dish out some zaps themselves. Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, and Sailor Jupiter take the lead. After just a few blasts, the Sailor Scouts have the situation under control. That was easy, says Sailor Jupiter. Yeah, maybe too easy, adds Sailor Moon. I'll bet Queen Beryl and her minions from the Negaverse are behind this. I'm going to ask Luna to find out. I'm so proud of you that you're not a crybaby in this story. I really am. If you guys are watching this on Hulu, you understand why I said that. At the art store, the manager sheds her disguise. She's really Zoisite, one of Queen Beryl's wicked helpers. The plan is working, Zoisite reports to Queen Beryl. Now I'll finish my greatest masterpieces. These demons will take care of those pesky Sailor Scouts once and for all. Very good, Zoisite, says Queen Beryl. If you succeed, you'll be a hero to the Negaverse. And don't you just love how much nicer Queen Beryl is to her minions than what we see on Hulu? So nice. I think that was a Power Ranger villain. So, before we continue, this is actually a tracing of Michiru from Sailor Moon S. She does not go to the same school as Serena and the other girls, and she's not a blonde. This is a tracing of Hotaru, also from Sailor Moon S. She definitely does not go to the same school because she's quite a bit younger than the others. And this is one of Usagi's usual classmates. So that's pretty interesting that they threw them in. By the way, nice shading on Luna, don't you think? Meanwhile, Luna shows Serena what happened at her junior high school is happening at the grammar school, too. In schools all over the city, the children's artwork is turning on them, Luna tells Serena. The art monsters turn the children into zombies under Queen Beryl's wicked spell. Serena, you and your scouts must destroy the evil art supplies to break the spell. Be very careful. Serena and her friends transform again into the mighty Sailor Scouts. They head for the preschool, but Zoisite's evil creatures cut them off. You gotta love how her button works when it feels like it. The scouts struggle as they try to fight against the powerful paintings. Just when it looks as if they may fail, Tuxedo Mask arrives on the scene. His magical rose weakens the two nasty creations. A few fire sprays and energy zaps later, Sailor Moon and Sailor Mars easily finish off the duo of hand-drawn demons. I didn't point this out earlier, but I feel like I have to. I love how her tiara is flashing, because it doesn't really do that often. And if you watch Sailor Moon Crystal, or if you read the manga, she actually does have an attack that does this exact thing. It's called Moon Twilight Flash. It's really cool. Sailor Moon and Sailor Mars have no problems with the scribble ghouls inside the local preschool. Those mini-monsters are no match for Sailor Moon's golden frisbee. Oh, I hope you paid the licensing fee. Okay, so fun fact. When the Sailor Moon manga first came out, her attack was literally called Moon Frisbee. I even have a copy of the manga where she says that. And then in subsequent installments, they changed this to Moon Tiara Action and to Moon Boomerang because they didn't have the trademark for Frisbee. That belongs to a toy company. So I'm kind of surprised they actually left in this original attack from the manga. I'm also surprised because when she does this attack, and you see this in the 90s anime and in Sailor Moon Crystal, she takes off the tiara. So if that's not her tiara, where did this come from? She doesn't have pockets. But anyways, the monsters are no match for Sailor Moon's Golden Frisbee and Sailor Mars' Fierce Fireball Blast. Let's get rid of these energy-zapping art supplies, Sailor Moon says. This is such a cool drawing, if you overlook the fact that she's cross-eyed. And poor Venus just doing her best back there. Hang in there, V. At the park, the Sailor Scouts gather the art supplies into a big pile for an out-of-this-world bonfire. Which I'm sure is totally legal. A bunch of teenagers setting stuff on fire. That's okay. When Sailor Moon combines the power of her crescent wand with the other Scouts' powers, they smash the pile into a lump of dust. That'll snap the children out of their trances, says Sailor Moon. Now I have some business to take care of at that evil art store. Sailor Moon confronts Zoisite. I am Sailor Moon. On behalf of the moon, I shall right wrongs and triumph over evil, and that means you. Sailor Moon shouts, Moon, Tiara, magic! She gets ready to fling her golden frisbee. Zoisite cleverly dodges and leaps away, diving back to the Negaverse. That's right, run away, Sailor Moon calls. Tell your queen. It takes more than a few crafty criminals to defeat Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts. And so ends Sailor Moon Play-A-Sound. I actually kind of wish they had, more involvement with the Tuxedo Mask button, and with her moonstick, or Crescent Moon Wand as it was in the Deke dub. And again, isn't it just such a shame that they forgot to give Venus her own button? I would have actually replaced this button just by using that in the story, and I would have put Venus right about here. I don't know, I just feel kind of bad for Venus. But anyway, that should pretty well do it for this story, and I'll see you next time.